6 o'clock on a Thursday morning, tracking what is now Hurricane Dorian as it churns out of the Caribbean closer to the Florida coastline. A state of emergency declared there as people prepare for the storm to make that possible Labor Day landfall.
We have team coverage as Graham Olkins shows you preparations across our region, and Liz Coe explains how this could impact holiday travel. Let's start you out first, though, with Diane Deaton, your First Alert forecast.
Thank you very much, Matt and Lauren. Good morning, everyone. 6 o'clock as you're waking up on this Thursday morning. Give you information on, again, here it is. This is Category 1 Hurricane Dorian. Not much change during the overnight hours as far as the number is concerned. What the National Hurricane Center is saying this morning, however, is that the barometric pressure has gone up just a little bit from last night. It's back up to 991. What that means is they're saying maybe just a little bit of a drier slot on the southeastern edge of Dorian, and that eye wall of the hurricane kind of filled in a little bit more with the clouds and some rain. So that's just a little bit of good news. But again, you can see where it is moving away from Puerto Rico, moving to the northwest at 13, highest winds 85. And look at this, it just has open waters, very warm open waters as it continues its trek across the waters and closer to Florida. And as we said earlier, it does look like it is going to be a major Category 3 hurricane as it does make landfall over the course of the weekend in Florida. In the meantime, this is what you need to know out the door. Looks really quiet. We like quiet, especially after all the noise and all the rain we had last night. So this morning as you're waking up, temperature 73 degrees. Not a bad day ahead. Little lower humidity. Not as good as we'd hope for today, tonight, tomorrow, but some is better than nothing. 93 degrees your daytime high, no heat advisory, and only an isolated shower.
Diana, busy travel weekend. A lot of folks taking tomorrow off to add to the Monday already off holiday for Labor Day weekend. We're going to expect a lot of traffic later this afternoon, especially after 3 o'clock. Snapshot right now. A lot of traffic on the Highway 70 approach to the Sunshine Bridge due to an earlier stalled vehicle. It's still really slow, folks, from Highway 22 all the way past the truck stop and toward the Sunshine Bridge, where we had an earlier stalled vehicle there this morning. That lane going toward Donaldsonville between Sorrento and DeVille, still very slow, and that's got 70 really jacked up this morning going toward Donaldsonville out of Sorrento. Just be advised there this morning. Meanwhile, taking you across to the Atchafalaya Basin, all lanes are open. If you're heading to Lafayette or going west for the holiday weekend, you will have no problem right now on the Atchafalaya Basin. The basin is looking really good all the way to the Lafayette area. Here's one live shot right near the Butte La Rose area. Both lanes in both directions open. So your drive time to Lafayette right now, snapshot under 50 minutes, back to normal on I-10. 47 minutes is where we are right now. Our time check, 6:02, 6:03 now, Lauren.
Johnny, we're waiting and watching. Hurricane Dorian makes its way toward the United States, aiming for Florida. The governor there has already declared a state of emergency. And Graham Olkins is in the First Alert Center now following the storm and preparations ahead of it.
Good morning to you, Lauren. This is the tracker on our WAFB Hurricane Center. You can track it in real time, and you can see basically the entire state of Florida still in that cone of uncertainty right now. So the entire state of Florida is bracing this morning. Governor Ron DeSantis said he talked to President Trump about 8:45 p.m. Last night, declared the state of emergency for his state. But this is what folks are waking up to, as people saying they're not looking forward to this weekend because this is what the store shelves are already looking like. Someone in Jacksonville said water is already almost gone. We're prepared as possible. Some video for you shows the long gas lines, just the familiar scenes that we see a few days out from a major hurricane. So that's what folks are dealing with this morning, not really knowing where this possibly Category 3 hurricane may hit by the time it gets there on Labor Day. Some folks having some fun with it, though. This is at a Publix grocery store in Florida. Never seen that cone of uncertainty on a cookie cake. But so they're trying to prepare as best they can with keeping it a little light. But we're also tracking the misery map. This is what we use to track the real-time flight delays. It's looking good this morning, but obviously with Labor Day weekend coming up, lots of folks going to be taking to the roads and the skies. Normally, folks would be headed toward Florida. Our Liz Coe is live this morning with if you may have to change travel plans, what that might involve. Hey, Liz.
Hey Graham, you made a key point there. Things could change at the drop of a hat, and that's why people who have these Labor Day travel plans need to start making these backup plans just in case, right? So 17.5 million people are expected to be out and about traveling for the Labor Day holiday weekend. In fact, it's one of the busiest out of the year. Since we're at the airport, let's talk about what you can do, what some of your options are if you have a flight plan for today or tomorrow, right? So today is expected to be the busiest travel day. In fact, the peak travel time is going to be between 4 and 6 p.m. But airlines like Delta, Spirit, and Southwest have already issued travel advisories and what's called flexible travel policies. Each airline offers something different, and some of them are allowing you to change your flight, cancel it, or save your reservation for a future flight. And if you have a trip booked for this Labor Day weekend, make sure you're checking that flight online. Maybe you received an email from your airline, but it's really important to see what your airline is offering in the case that weather cancels your plans. And make sure you're checking Twitter pages. That's where I'm finding the most up-to-date information from some of these airlines, because each day these travel advisories are changing. Now, if you're planning on taking a road trip, well, some good news for you. AAA saying that this year you're seeing the lowest gas prices for Labor Day holiday weekend in the last 3 years. So obviously good news here, but some things you have to look out for are whether roads are going to close, and we won't know that until we see what Hurricane Dorian is going to do. So the best thing you can do is watch the newscasts, watch these weathercasts to see what it's going to do to make sure you and your family are safe, especially if you have that Labor Day vacation planned. Lauren?
Thank you so much, Liz. As the storm heads for the U.S., we will be keeping you safe by keeping you informed. You can stay with us on air and on our 9 News app for hour-by-hour updates. That app gives you real-time notifications, and our First Alert Storm Team gives you daily video updates as well.
Now, from Louisiana's News Channel, this is 9 News This Morning.
You can understand they've been traumatized, and that's our main concern with them at this point, is just making sure that they're taken care of.
Children witness a deadly triple shooting. We are following that breaking news right now. 3 people killed in a shooting on Palmer Lane. This is not far from South Harrell's Ferry Road. East Baton Rouge deputies say a suspect is in custody. As we take a live look at the scene, they believe the suspect knew the victims, Graham.
Yeah, and we're talking about 2 kids here, a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. The shooting happened just before midnight. That is a live look, as Lauren mentioned, now that the sun is coming up. It's still a quieter, but obviously an active crime scene. Lots of questions about this. Our Liz Coe will have a report for us live in just moments.
We want to get you out the door first with your First Alert forecast. Let's check in with Diane Deaton.
Right now, it's pretty quiet for you out the door. No issues, but I bring your attention to our First Alert Futurecast for later this afternoon. Now, again, not terribly widespread in the realm of any shower activity, but you're going to have a few spotty, isolated showers right around 5 o'clock, right around your rush hour home, that in some areas and some spots can get your attention, because we could have some locally heavy rainfall in just a few areas. And likewise, across a portion, the northernmost portion of Pike and Walthall counties, you folks are under that low-end risk, a marginal risk for severe weather later on today. Now, this morning, you're looking just fine. No issues, no problems. Johnny's going to have your latest traffic information here in just a moment, along with Live Drive. We'll let you know what's happening. What's happening as far as weather is concerned, a whole lot of nothing. So that's good for your Friday Eve, your Thursday morning. It's warm out there, though, 76 degrees, and this is what we're expecting. Lunchtime temperature already 90, or high yesterday, 94, and we are looking at a few isolated showers. I kind of pinpointed those for you on Futurecast, so be aware on that drive home. A few of you might be in the middle of a little bit of rain, but it shouldn't last long, and it will not be widespread severe, Johnny.
6:02, we've got a serious top story for you, so I'll be quick in traffic. Nothing going on, no wrecks right now. This is I-12 coming in from Denham Springs. Looks good there at Range. I-10 right here through the road work at Highland Road. Not bad this morning. There's our Mississippi River Bridge. Just a little slow traffic right here in the Port Allen area, but all in all, not a bad drive this morning at all. And down in Plaquemine, the Plaquemine Sunshine Ferry boats are both in service. Remember, though, high water restrictions are still in place down there for a while. Buses, trailers, and large trucks are restricted. 6:02, now to that serious story. Here's Graham Elkins.
Yeah, Johnny, we're following that breaking news. 3 people killed overnight in a shooting there. This happened on Palmer Lane off of South Harrell's Ferry Road. That is where we find our Liz Coe. She's been out there gathering information for several hours now while most of us have been asleep. Liz, what have you learned this morning?
Yeah, Graham, what's new at this hour is actually the East Baton Rouge Coroner's Office just leaving with both vans in tow. That happening within the last 7 minutes here. But you can see we're actually parked here along South Harrells Ferry Road. The incident happened at a home there behind that line of trees and that crime scene tape on Palmer Lane. You can't see the home there because of those trees. But let me walk you through the timeline that the sheriff's office investigators have pieced together. They say this all happened right before midnight. In fact, a 911 call came into dispatch from a 14-year-old boy who lives in that home where this awful incident happened. He told dispatch that his mother's ex-boyfriend came into their house and started shooting. The teen then took his 12-year-old brother outside, and together they hid behind a shed until deputies could get to them. Now, meanwhile, another set of deputies noticed the suspect leave the scene in his vehicle, and they actually chased him into the Shenandoah subdivision. They eventually got him out, and deputies were able to arrest him there. Meanwhile, deputies got to the scene here on Palmer Lane, finding 3 victims dead inside the home. We're told each one had multiple gunshot wounds. Now, as for the 2 boys right now, the sheriff's office has them safe, and they're trying to get them in the hands of family. Sheriff Gautreaux commending that 14-year-old boy for reacting as quick as he did to keep him and his little brother alive. He says it's a situation that children should never have to experience.
Very, very tragic situation, but it could have been a lot worse. If that young man wouldn't have thought as quick as he did and got his brother out there and hid behind the house, it's very likely that they could have been victims as well.
As for what's next, the East Baton Rouge Coroner's Office, again, they have to work to identify that official cause of death for these 3 victims, the 2 women and 1 man. Now, detectives actually have the suspect in custody at the Violent Crimes Unit. We're told they're going to interview him there to find out exactly why this happened. As of now, no motive for what happened here. And again, the 2 boys are safe, waiting to be connected with family from out of state. As we get new information, we're going to update you right here on 9 News This Morning. For now, reporting live along South Harrells Ferry Road, I'm Liz Coe for WAFB 9 News. Back to you.
Okay, Liz, thank you. Your help is needed to find the person who dumped a body at a park in broad daylight in our city. If you live near Olympia Field in Baton Rouge, check your security cameras. Yesterday, someone dumped a body in that area off of Perkins Road. Baton Rouge police say the driver of that car then drove from Olympia Field and made a left turn down Kenilworth headed toward Highland. We're told the victim is between 18 and 20 years old. Blood was found on the victim's head, but it is unclear exactly how he died. There were plenty of witnesses, and police say that is the key to solving this crime.
But just to say that they dumped the body here in broad daylight at a park where it's close by, they have kids playing and break workers here working. That's pretty bold.
Authorities are asking people in the area to go back and look through their security footage for a dark-colored car driving between 12:30 p.m. and 1 o'clock. Police are also looking to see if the park has surveillance footage. If you have information or video that can help, call the number on your screen. It's Crime Stoppers 344-STOP.